reckoning, right?
Yeah.
We can't downplay how good he's actually looked. Getting into it as well, strongly suggested, again, just by the fact of one of the things we touched on. You've got Galena and Eisen both there, the two champions that are being picked.
For instance, and the kind of burst DPS, I wonder what he's going to be like versus the other champions, because it looks like it's starting right now, Jackie.
Yep, we're into it. We know there could be an absolute lot of carnage. Strog and Pika looking already to kick things off with a bang, as he'll be slapped in the face by that Pika.
I'm already excited to see the movement of this Strog. Of course, slightly different to Slash. You got 1 second max of that cross side, chasing up the lightning gun. Actually misses a whole heap of it. Characteristic misses, but his rail has certainly been looking good. LG definitely needs to just turn it up a little bit.
It's at least one nice way to start it. Doing a bit of damage and getting away with the extra mega as well. Holding with a back and forth strafe as he was ramping himself up, trying to stay high energy. Does get the peek across onto base. Again, continues his reign of terror. He's constantly slapping him down. Lovely jump as he goes for the rocket over, glides through the air, and leaves base laid out on the ground.
I don't think he's missed a rail yet, and I apologize if he misses the next rail, by the way, guys. I didn't curse him, okay? This doesn't exist, don't be silly. Oh, the lightning gun. Oh my god, that was nasty damage from base. That totem combo? Tox got totally caught by surprise.
I wonder what level of Galena damage we're going to see coming out here from base as well, because normally he does pop off when he's given this champion. Straight back into the fray again as well. He goes straight headstrong on towards big man Strog and Pika, overthrows him easily. He's quite low into this, but somehow he wins the fight as well. Base! That is outrageous!
He keeps hitting these crazy rocket to rail combos. He's going to be giving up the major item on this occasion. I think he just realized he actually wants to step away from the light. Looks down at it. Is it safe? Is it safe? Yeah, sure, why not? It could be safe. But you could, earlier on when he got the first kill up at the railgun, you can tell that he wanted to be chased by Tox. Base is a defensive mastermind. He lives for those moves. If you're keen to chase him, he's just smiling in a disgustingly creepy way, because that's just what pleases him. And I mean that in the most positive way possible.
It's like the Joker.
Yeah, yeah. I totally agree with that.
With the manic cackling laugh in the back.
Oh,
no!
How?
Did the extra force from the tag as he went for the teleport and knock him out?
But he wasn't through the teleporter yet. I don't understand.
How is he going?
Oh, the LG. I mean, production. Yeah, we don't want it now, but I know I shouldn't be asking, but I'm just
you rude boy.
Super curious. It's really, really rude of me.
I mean, if we did have that, it would be outrageous. Like, that's like a Mythbusters.
Yeah,
of how he died.
That's it, right? That's exactly it.
That was just weird.
Oh my god.
There's no signs of it even slowing down as well. This one's been completely derailed, but Base is hitting rails as he's popping off right now, just tearing him to shreds.
I want to talk about it just a bit more, because sometimes going through the teleporters, you can kind of mess with your mind a little bit, especially if you try to go through it backwards. Nice work there from Tox. So if he was trying to go through the teleporter backwards or something, and then trying to sort of strafe the other way, maybe he kind of inverted the movement and accidentally just slid right off.
Because I was thinking maybe...
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because he was facing backwards. So I thought, did somehow him getting nudged by the rail as he's gone through, it's messed with his movement a little bit. He's tried to counter it and just, look, I'm flying over the edge.
Okay, so it might have given him a bit of a boost going through the teleporter, but it wouldn't have given him a sideways directional boost. True. It would have only given him kind of forward momentum, if anything.
Maybe...
But it was weird because he was hit away from the teleporter. So maybe he thought, maybe it slowed him down, and he thought he was going to go around to rockets or something like that, but actually the slide was way slower than he anticipated. I think that's it. I think that's the myth right there.
Maybe it's like a John Tickle walking on...
I don't know what that
walking
means.
on custard type situation, where it was the right consistency.
What language are you speaking?
Where he was able to walk across it, but as he stopped moving, he lost the counteractive force that meant he fell into the custard and died on the ring out. But 6-2, we're 4 minutes in.
Glad we covered that.
It's actually been a pretty ridiculous game so far from base. He had a slow start, but then he quickly ramped it back up to 11. And he's looking to try and get back into the game here once again as well. He does have the lead, but Tox got the previous frag, and he wants to double down on that. But he's not getting too much success with this Pika. He's been struggling to actually do a fair bit of damage with it.
Sorry, I've still been thinking about that entire slide situation. I swear I'll snap out of it in a second. Tox is definitely looking better. I think he was a little shaken earlier on, and not by what happened with the ring out, but what happened with the first kill that Base got. Because you could see that he was just getting into his element. That was a confident push. And then it got nullified so hard that I think it kind of threw him off. Now he's starting to regain his composure. He's starting to regain control, but it's a challenge, especially going versus base. And one rail kills him. This is so dangerous. He's eventually going to be able to get himself onto the heavy. Ooh, we've got to be careful peeking against base.
The hurty hole that he's going to peek his way through and try and get a shot off, but it won't connect as he's not actually given an opportunity. So he's actually starting to get a little bit more fast-paced again. It seemed like when he took that knock on his confidence, he just wasn't going for these fast-paced plays, wasn't roaming as much. Now he is. He realizes as well, you don't have too much time left. We're over the halfway point, so get in there and start fighting. Uses the peek to try and do damage, negates the shots that are coming towards him. He's so low, but they're still scrapping it out. He doesn't get the kill off, though, and base is going to finish him with the LG.
Oh, there were so many weird things that happened in that fight. There were so many. I think he carried on sliding into base while he went into Pika mode because you're crouched when you go into that. So you hold forward momentum. He went into the fight, then realized, why is my Pika here and why can I see myself? And then he switches to rail, but he had no ammo. Oh, that was... You could see the red mist in his eyes when he went into that room, but it just did not pan out at all.
Ooh. Ooh. That was a nice little rocket up through the hurty hole. He's going to get himself into a prime time position though, as base going on the hunt now, hungry to attempt to get another kill on the board. It's a nice couple of tags here and there. Surely he realizes the Tox is so low as well. Barely has any sustain left in him. He's going to be limping his way around the map, just somehow attempting to clutch onto life.
You saw the legs, the little legs. Tox is in a really, really horrible position. There we go. He has to go into the dark depths of the map to get himself just the light armor. Starting to pick up the weapons too, but he really can't afford to lose this armor. I think he hit the rail there, and there's a Pika just doing a little bit of scouting. Light over at the connector, and it's pretty much in the next 30 to 40 seconds that Tox needs to be getting himself on the board, and base has gone into a very defensive stance. But the rail's good, but it's not necessarily the best weapon because there's still some forward momentum from Tox. But one missed shot, base looks to return fire before the reload, and he gets out, and it does turn out to be pretty positive for him.
The downwards fire off the rocket there, the fadeaway tri-bolt as well, as he now just sits close on the angle, waiting to do some damage with the LG. Instead, takes a small amount of damage from afar. In reality, he's playing this perfectly right for the situation he's in, though. We're coming up to 8 minutes. He's already got 7 frags on the board. The chance that Tox gets back into the game gets smaller and smaller as time passes by, and so does his HP pool as he's getting tagged by all the rails, knocked by the rockets, and then slumped out by DLG.
If he hit that rail, he was a god. I mean, he's a god anyway, but he's just totally immortal. He knew what he had to do just there, but it was a case of execution. I think there's no way he shouldn't have gone for it. But, you know, we try to imagine what would be happening now if he did land that rail. That's a nice little snapshot there from base. I love that. And he's heard exactly where Tox has spawned. Looking for some sort of damage, but it's difficult for him to justify heavy. But there's a little sound cue telling him that Tox is over at Mega side. Now you just fight him head on. Trying to do the standstill dodge in the corner of the room, but Tox will get himself a kill, and now chasing 7 in the last minute and 20. Tall order.
Yeah, this is awful. The amount he would have to do is going to be such a struggle. The shotgun around the corner, that was a ridiculous flick, but I don't think it will be the difference maker. The Pika at least trying to pick down his health pool and leave him in a predicament. Goes in with the shotgun, though, to stun him out. He has got another frag on the board too, but the fact that he needs 6 more in the space of 60 seconds is just ridiculous.
Is he going to get over to heavy? No, he's dropping heavy. Lack of timing there, certainly a hindrance for him. The jump forward, base is like, I've got the rail. I'll take my time with this one. And that's pretty much it right there, folks. What a strange game for Tox, though, you got to say.
Yeah.
All these crazy things that were happening for him. The unfortunate Pika incident. I don't really know how else to refer to it.
The Pika predicament.
Yeah, I like it. It's good.
There you go.
That's what you're here for, Jackie.
Rough.
I feel like Tox has chosen some questionable moments to use the Pika, but it's also that ammo management. One of the sort of biggest curses that Tox has had as a player is entirely ammo management, and mostly with the railgun, I've got to say. Whereas b100 is just solid. His defensive traps and just capitalizing on the fact that he knows Tox likes to be aggressive. I mean, it's reflected now in the scores. 14-5. Pretty big scoreline. Was not expecting it to be quite that steep.
No, not at all. That was a very cleanly played game there from b100 across the board. Just looked like he, as soon as he found that singular opportunity in the game, was just like, right.
Pretty special player.
You've also got the other character that has been incredibly effective in terms of the stats, now coming up with Eisen as well, that does lean into that. It's the air of effect, the denial that can come through. If we're going to see someone use a turret to a very high skill ceiling, that's probably going to be our man.
Yeah, and I'm nervous here for Tox, just because this champion is so good at b100, and I think b100 is one of the strongest Eisen players out there. It's a good start for Tox in terms of pushing him back a little bit. Tox manages to get a whole bunch of weapons that he's going to be happy using, and b100 is the one playing kind of with his tail between his legs a little bit. Oh my god.
Wow. Okay. Well, he's lucky to even be breathing at this point.
A little rail delivery. Got mega health. b100 is there in time to hear it. I think Tox realizes that there's a turret. We'll get rid of it, but b100 is finding some not bad amounts of damage. Oh my god, he's got to get out of there. So close. You always expect Tox to find a rail angle out of nowhere, but it looked like he was just fully tri-bolting. It's a minute to get himself the lightning gun. He still hasn't got rockets. He still hasn't got rail. I always find it really interesting watching a player because you can learn so much about how they go about getting those three weapons against a player who's got that map control. And he'll take as much time as he needs to, but he hears that Tox is down below, so at this point he's thinking, Heavy's coming up in a moment, his attention is going to be focused around that item, this is where I can go and get myself the rockets. And now with rail, you've got to be a little careful when they've got center map control. But look what he's done. The amount of damage he does with the rockets, he's equalized the stacks, and now he's pressing on to the Heavy.
Wow.
Unbelievably negotiated there by b100.
That was systematically played. That was incredibly clean. He actually is quite lucky to stay alive here at this point, though, as Tox instantly reinitiates the fight there with the tri-bolt spam. Nearly kills him, Zoot, but at least b100 gets away with, at the minute, a small lead into the match.
I mean, it's just mastermind blood run work from b100, who's basically born here. He just knows that, okay, if an opponent is stood right here and he's not crossing this line, then it allows me to make a move in this direction, minimizing my chances of getting punished. There are some complicated formulas, I think, on this map, but once you nail them, you're able to do things that b100 is doing. You know, Tox is also no stranger to this map as well, but I think he was playing as if he still had that control at one point. And maybe expecting b100 to be a bit toned down, but those are the moments where he goes nuclear.
Audio cues are going to work out well here for Tox. He'll have complete understanding of what's going on. Unfortunately, it doesn't give him much of an edge in the fight. Instead, it really leaves him with a nice little to stay alive here. Has to hide on the corner. b100 falling for the fact that he went up beforehand up the jump pad. Instead, now goes up and gets away. And this leaves him in an awkward spot.
I actually loved the trap there from Tox. There was just an execution error there, and with the rockets going down, very difficult angles to hit. So certainly can't have a go at Tox. Trying. Wow. b100 has to take a moment to make sure he can flick correctly just there. It looked a bit unnatural for a second.
Yeah. Stopped and lined it up to get that home run hit. And now straight back in. This is getting better and better by the minute, though, for b100. 3 minutes in, 2 kills already picked up. Actually has weapons to play with. What he's lacking on Rocket, he'll make up for with Rail.
God,
as he takes him down once more.
It's just these little snap flicks. b100 is just so good at them. Just to get out of there, his health looking pretty low. And his ammunition also looking low. It's like he has to just take a moment to, okay, I need to flick, it's just measuring out on his mouse pad. Okay, this far. And it's a very small distance because of his insane Axel setup. Tox has now got a bit of control on the map. He needs to get here for the Heavy. And actually, b100 is in quite a bit of trouble. Tox hasn't got piercing sight up for a while, which is slightly frustrating for him, but that's the stack that he's been looking for.
Turret's back up. He does have the firepower he wants. Knows there's still quite some time before we get the respawns and the pickups, though. So he's just going to navigate around, do what he can in terms of the smaller finds. Get himself the light armor. Try and scavenge any additional benefits before he goes back into the fray. Does get a tag off with a knock-up rocket onto Tox. Tox steals himself the Mega. He's going to be pretty happy with that one as he goes gliding by.
Big rail, big rail.
That's ridiculous.
Tox needs to get that. What's he doing? I think he missed his rocket jump. But BaSe is only on 100 health. Again, watching the defensive play as he tries to keep that lead at 3. And he's seeing a mastermind at work. He manages to avoid a rail. And he had to make sure he got through the teleporter. Don't want to be sitting there on 10 HP. Then you can be in a really, really hairy situation. I saw a rocket jump. BaSe has got to get out of there a little bit. Tox a tad slow getting around the corner. This is still very difficult with a visor and piercing sight. It's just over. He knew exactly where BaSe was, but he can't close the gap. And this is the kind of defensive game that can happen. You've just got... This is all down to how effective the piercing sight usage is going to be from TOXJQ.
He's wasted so much time, though. We're already halfway through this match, and Tox hasn't had a chance to actually get back into the action yet, so he needs to pick up his momentum soon and start pushing his agenda. Goes for the jump over the top. They both spot each other out. Good use of the rockets, though. Tags him twice. BaSe gets away. Wanted to deny the armor pickup. The LG not going to reach, but the rail will still hit. He is low, but he's got the confidence to fight this one out. It's a bold move. He drops himself down. He's not in a good spot at all. If he's going to come out on top, he needed to land those rockets. Instead, they miss, and he meets his demise for the first time.
That all stemmed from BaSe wanting to go for the railgun. He had no ammunition on it and felt that it was a vital accessory for him to succeed further in his defensive plays, but now he doesn't have any of the weapons. He may have picked up the lightning gun or something now, but I felt like that was a push too far. I really liked what BaSe was doing beforehand, but putting himself out there like that, I mean, now he's seen how devastating it can be. I think he's going to play even more defensive now, if anything.
Oh, he was very exposed, but Tox trying to lead with the opening that he's given himself. Went all in with a railgun. Grabs himself the Mega and repositions. Nice prediction there coming off the back of the visor. And the rail is going to pierce its way through his chest.
Only one frag between them. BaSe is having a hard time. He gave away that frag when he had the weaponry he needed. He's got himself rockets. I'd say rockets are probably the most important weapon that he needs. I'll go with the railgun afterwards to get that long-range damage.
Wow. Very smooth on the rails. Tox has been actually doing kind of what we expected coming into this one. He's also built himself a nice little control path to roam his way around. He's got pretty much unlimited control of the Mega at this point. What he needs is those frags. One to be precise, as we are coming up close towards the 10-minute mark now. We're burning through it, Zoop. 7 minutes and a half already gone.
We're burning through it, but Tox has made really good headway. I'm very impressed at how he's managed to get back into the game, capitalizing off BaSe's errors and being very proactive. So he's not in a rush. He's still got a minute and a half until it's really urgent. But I think just get that 175, 175, and now figure it out. Get himself to 10 rockets too. He's got everything that he needs. Piercing sight's about to come up. This is where you can make magic happen.
Tox sneaking his way around, both of them trying to play this one so slowly. As they just daintily make their move. He's going to go all in though. That was lovely. A nice way to open it up as you use the rocket to bombard you close. It was high tempo. It was like he was being fired out at a cannon, but it was a mistake. It didn't work out the way he wanted it to. Lands the follow-up rail, but he's just left in such a dire position, Zoo. It could have been glorious, but it just wasn't quite there.
It was actually so perfect from Tox, but the rockets that BaSe landed were even more perfect. But the chase, BaSe has gone too far into the room. Oh, that was so dangerous. He had a different read, I think based on the turret receiving damage or something. And all of a sudden, Tox ties it up. So the dynamics of play have just shifted completely because now BaSe has got to play for a frag rather than just not giving one up.
I suppose the question is, do they both actively go in to try and fight this and end it right here, right now? Or do they both opt to go for a slower style to allow it to be decided into sudden death?
Tox would like to end it before the 10-minute mark because he's got the control. What's scary though is the longer it goes on, and if BaSe starts to twist that control round, that's where Tox starts worrying. BaSe is in no rush whatsoever.
Ooh, that was actually a bit awkward there. Barely spotted him out in the bottom of his screen. Eventually gets the detection on him and flicks down. Almost was annihilated by the rail that whizzed by him as well. As we get into the last 30 seconds, this is where if they are both going to go all in and start a brawl, it will be right here, right now. Tox starting to build up the movement, pops the visor so he knows what's going on with the piercing sight, aware of his location, has to eliminate the turret, all ins with a rail though. He's just taking damage to the face to try and shut down BaSe. He got him so low, Zoot, but it wasn't the kill.
He's got to hunt him down. Does a little fake rocket. Jump up, still got a bit of ammunition. I think he just spotted his head, but wants to get rid of the items on the board. BaSe is just running for his life. He's trying to kill some time at the moment. Oh! These rail shots from Tox are absolutely unbelievable. And BaSe is running out of health bubbles to pick up. Where the hell is he going to go? He is so happy at the moment that he didn't just push around that corner.
He goes back though. The all-in could be the incorrect play. Luckily, he dives over the rocket and he lands the rail. That is stunning. Oh, the way he actually is able to hit so many of these pixel-perfect rails. And then to finish it, he gives us a showstopper.
What an unbelievable shot.
Like, it's crazy.
And, well, we've only got more. Tox is going to be buzzing that he's got himself some points, I think, and is now playing for the series win. I think, given his recent shape, probably people possibly weren't expecting this. But we're now on Ruins, which I felt was going to be Tox's strongest map with a Sorlag versus a Ranger, and we're just popping into the map at the moment.
Yeah, we're diving straight back into it. BaSe versus Tox. Let's see if BaSe is going to set himself a nice level ground here to look to try and take this one, or if Tox is going to tackle back, and we will be left with a series going in his favor. It's all to play for, Zoot, in the final map here of this series. Wow.
BaSe has got some insane orbs, by the way. Oh my god, he's just pushing right in. There's 8 health left. He's still going for this, in fact. Oh my god, Tox gets out of there, but you've got to be asking yourself for how long.
That is absolutely crazy. He had 8 HP on the escape, finally goes down. A bit of an overkill, but I'll take it.
I love the ragdoll there. Tox just running at him. He's like, yeah, I'll deal with this. Calculated, not even close. What are you talking about, guys? Great his rails at the beginning of the map though. That was just stonking. Is that a word I can use?
Stonks rising.
Yes, maybe.
Maybe.
Never sure with you.
Oh, well, BaSe, he's got control of the Mega, but there is a skulking Tox around the corner. However, he wants to instead leave him sulking as he does a bit of damage to him on the flick back around. Starts to move out of position though. Rocket is ready, but does he expect him correctly?
Yeah, he wasn't really sure where Tox was there. A couple of missed opportunities for himself to do damage, but overall still good, holding some good map control. And I think Tox needs to look for some exit damage on this Mega health pickup. Which he's positioned for, but BaSe has been very careful with his movement. He's not being too hasty in how he gets around the map. And the way that Tox timed the rocket, that's normally... He's picked up the Mega and he's walking towards connector. Bang.
Ooh. Burns him down, leaves Tox incredibly low. Luckily didn't push into that rail though.
Super, super disciplined. It's so, you know you've got him low, you know that you've got an easy rail to hit, but then you see who you're playing against, like, he can hit that vertical shot on me, and it's going to be lights out. Wow, what a response.
There has been some crisp rails from everyone involved. BaSe, he was so low off the back of that one, but luckily he does deliver death straight to Tox. He's going to want to get himself out of there, use the Dire Orb. Good prediction as well. That Tri-Bolt actually almost eliminated him there.
Yeah, you can see BaSe is respecting that too. He's just like, I mean, just hold. And he knows how much the tiny little movements can have such a big impact on the damage that you're taking. Very good calculation. Then just pushing it over the LG, that's a little bit more straightforward. Tox is stuck kind of on the side of the map with few exits. And BaSe is just going up and up and up. He's got to watch out! The gauntlet comes out and Tox is on the board. Don't get too curious, BaSe. Oh, we've got more rails coming out. He's going to try and find another. He's trying to just spam that out. Orb comes out. And that's onto the Mega health. And that is going to allow BaSe to get 2 major items. So Tox has got to figure out what's my answer here.
Oh, the rail from a distance. Trying to get the follow-up, but he couldn't quite land it as he elevates himself out of there. But can he elevate his overall skill ceiling into this one to get back on the board. BaSe has a nice lead, but Tox definitely starting to put the tilt factor into effect with the way he got his initial frag. Good use of the spit as well. Denies the pathway. He's got the info from it, and he's going to try and reposition based off of this. That's actually one of the first times he's been allowed to take the Mega as well.
And he's going to allow him to take both the major items now. He avoids the rail, which is just as big a move as picking up the items, in my opinion. Now if he can get himself the rockets, I mean, even without rockets, he's going to have a lot of confidence now, but he needs to be able to play around the corners up at connector.
There's going to be another confrontation soon. Rockets conceded. Tox, he should be pretty happy with his entire kit that he has to play with now. Good armor, good health, good weapons across the board. So when it comes to utility, he's going to be licking his lips. But let's see if he can start to do a bit more fragging. The old game of peekaboo, straight back through the portal. Nothing will connect. It's an awkward miss every time they're seeing each other. And he backs off again to grab the additional armor.
Yeah, it's a bit of a battle now to get some of that opening damage on base. He's struggling to do that. Ooh.
Movement's nice.
He's trying to get, it looks like he's trying to get that jump up onto the little T section.
That's definitely going to slow him down, taking a rail to the chest as
Base is dropped.
Ooh. He goes back up, gets away with the Mega that's going to replenish him just off of the hit he took from the rocket. The predictive rockets won't work out, unfortunately. He leaves his back exposed as well, not realizing where exactly BaSe is coming from.
Yeah, that could have actually been a lot more dangerous for him then, but he manages to re-secure some control on the map. Missing some rails, however. Still giving himself plenty of time in this map to make a comeback, and we definitely know he can make an extraordinary comeback this series. Just a case of all tying it together. Oof.
The rough part is, though, bear in mind, this is to decide who is going to take the series, and BaSe is in the lead. 4 frags to the 1 of Tox, the single gauntlet kill, where he grotesquely tore open BaSe's ribcage. Let's see if he can do that again, but this time with the firepower that he has in his back pockets, as we're still burning our way through the clock. 5 minutes 30 now gone.
I think he's slightly mistimed the heavy armor. He's got to watch out because there is an orb, and if BaSe didn't take that rail, he probably orbs into him. BaSe needs to have a very good idea of what kind of stack that Tox is playing with at the moment. Tox can't find a punishing rail. There's 175, 175 from BaSe. He has got an orb in play. This is really dangerous for Tox. I'm expecting BaSe to get a frag soon, and I would like him to chase for one, given the advantage that he has in control at the moment.
This might be that opportunity. He spots him out, he gets a really big impactful tag across, essentially just glues Tox to the wall for a second there with the stopping power that came through off the back of the rail. So much time has been burnt down since Tox got that previous. Frag goes all in with a dire orb as he wants to open it up, straight to the face as he zaps him up and gets another kill, finally returning to the top spot.
It's such good timing as well for the kill because he's got the heavy to go on straight after, and he can make a kind of slow, careful rotation over to the Mega Health. So BaSe picks the perfect time to go for that, but it's the execution after that he seems to be having a little bit of difficulty with. He rocket jumps into some acid. Oh, the health bubble was so close, but Tox brings it to 2. Still, I feel like we've been on a 3 frag difference for most of the game now.
The problem is, it feels like at this point, the difference between the last time Tox got a frag, there was like 2 minutes of nothing afterwards. This time he's got that kill. We need to see him push and try and actually take these fights. But he's got any control when it comes to the actual pickups. He's going to be so limited.
Wow.
He's nearly dead as well already. And there he goes. Death from above as BaSe will drop a piano on him.
What were those rails? Some of them there.
Mental.
Tox is like, wait, how? Oh, it gets stolen away from him. We've got like half mid-air. Tox has got a bit of extra stack. He needs to just be ballsy here and has the perfect weapon to punish. But he's in the wrong place. He doesn't go down to heavy. And I think BaSe, if he's got perfect timing, he realizes. I don't think either player realizes necessarily. BaSe is playing safe. Tox, there we go, he looks around. The thing is, he needed that earlier because he might be late onto the Mega Health. There's no exit rail, there's no exit damage onto BaSe, so he manages to get the item for free ultimately, which puts Tox behind by 20 seconds or so. And now he's playing a dangerous game on this heavy. He hits the rail, trying to get away from that lightning gun angle. BaSe is missing shots at the moment, which is music to Tox's ears. One more rail. He has to risk everything for this, though. Oh my god, I can't believe BaSe did that. Orb turns around for the rail shot. then goes through the slip gate.
Basically got his own back for what Tox did on the prior map there towards the end. Wanted to just do a little bit of the damage. The Ferrari peak as he's gliding his way across. Tags him up close and personal with the point-blank rail, but he's finished off with the lightning gun that will tase him out of the equation. Tox is still incredibly low, though. He doesn't actually have much to play with. He's going to attempt to try and get some scraps to add to his stack. But he's still going to be low going into this until he finds the heavy. We're into the final minute, though, Zoot. And in reality, if there's any chance, it's just got to be frag after frag after frag.
What the hell was that rail shot? He needs to find that last kill. BaSe wasn't expecting. He even orbs out, but he's still in a lot of trouble. Has he found him correctly? What's the read? Oh, he might have spotted him there or heard him. And he's chasing. He's chasing hard. Rail is going to hit, but that's going to not be enough to put off Tox, who is chasing really quickly. The first frag that BaSe gave up on this string of plays looked like he was being a bit cocky with some of his angles, and Tox is all over him. Will hold on to his life. 2 major items are up. Game on at the moment, Jackie.
This could be sudden death. He's got himself into the primetime position, the only spot that he could physically be in now with a chance to take it to the overtime scenario. He's nipping away at his heels. He's getting him incredibly low. BaSe, not much sustain left on him. Surely he can win this firefight, but BaSe finishes him off. The Lag spit does absolutely nothing when your insides are being ripped out from inside you.
Tox is still gunning after this. If he can force the spawn immediately, don't tell me it's going to happen. Don't tell me.
9 seconds, Zoot.
He's going to spawn at about 57 or 56, and he needs to find him straight away. There's just no time. There is a world, but it's not going to be this one, Jackie. That is GG. BaSe will take it.
Wow. There was that moment when they were both fighting around the heavy where it was just like, all right, this is it. He's going to get sudden death. The Lag spit comes out. It looked like it was set up, you know, one